My name is Kaitlyn. I'm an accredited exercise physiologist at iFitness Exercise Physiology. So my role at iFitness is I work one-on-one with patients, so those who have chronic disease, so chronic disease management, working with patients to improve their health profile, working to reach their goals, so whether it be returning to sport or activity after injury or they've had a setback, working in particular, I really enjoy working with women postnatally, so we have developed a program called Back from Birth, so looking at getting women back to doing those activities that they enjoy doing, good for their mental and social health, in particularly rehabbing after having a child. As well as this, I work closely with our groups, so one of my main roles is coordinating all the groups. So we have a close relationship with Diabetes New South Wales, running what's called the Beat It group. So this is particularly for people who have diabetes or are pre-diabetic. So we run those programs, which is education and exercise. So I really enjoy that aspect of my role, as well as doing other programs like the Move with Women program, which again are specifically targeted at women and all ages, looking at women's health education topics as well as exercise, and specifically again those conditions which are relevant to women. I would say I love all aspects of my role. So working with people, getting them back to sporting. So if we have teenagers with sporting injuries and looking at getting them back to doing what they love. So whether it's injury prevention or management, looking at training programs. I myself love resistance training. So I love using the barbell and using our weights. I do love working with women as well, especially as I said, postnatally, or even those who had a child 50 years ago, looking at if they're still suffering or still have some of those symptoms that just haven't been addressed, really looking at improving quality of life and reducing any signs or symptoms that they have rolling on from that. So why am I an exercise physiologist? How did I get into it? That's a good question. So about 8 years ago, I did my personal training certificate. Didn't love it. Didn't love my job. Didn't love what I was doing. However, I did do a placement with James from iFitness and was really interested by what he was doing. So he was doing, yes, still a lot of athletic development, so those side aspects of personal training, but a lot more advanced, a lot more clinical, a lot more prehab and rehab perspective. So then I went to uni and did an undergraduate of exercise sports science, more clinically based, and it does have a lot more research backing into the exercise prescription. So it's a lot more targeted, it's a lot more tailored, it's a lot more research based. And so I saw what he was doing and I loved what he was doing, which meant back to uni. So then I did a master's. So I did a master's of exercise physiology whilst continuing to work for James. And now just have the dream job. Love what we do, love the interaction we have with patients, love how we can see day-to-day functioning and quality of life. And again, when we look at reaching people's goals to get them their social wellness and their mental wellness and their physical wellness. So that's what we do, and that's why I got into it. So if you booked in to see me in the clinic, so whether it be a face-to-face appointment or you were wanting to jump into one of our groups, it would start with an initial assessment. And this is really critical so that I can get to know you, I can get to know what you want from the appointment. So why are you here? What do you expect to get out of the appointment, so we can make a plan. So it's not just me telling you what I think the plan is, it's we're working together to get the best out of what you want. So whether it's you have chronic disease and you want a management plan for that, or whether you have a family history and you're wanting to work against that to reduce your chances of the onset of something, or whether you're there because you want to jump in a group because you like exercising but you prefer it more in a group situation, or you want to make some friends and so a group situation is perfect for you. So we have that conversation, we make a plan of what we think is going to be the best outcome for you. You may have tried A, B, C, and D and it hasn't worked, and that's because we haven't tried step E, or because maybe you didn't have input into it, or maybe you're not a morning person but you signed up to a 5 a.m. walking group. Well, it's probably not going to work for you. You might go once and twice, but I certainly wouldn't go a third time. So it's about us together making the perfect plan for you. And then we do some measures. So how do we know the plan is working? Pre and post measures. So it's not always weight and waist circumference. It may be we go off the blood work from your doctor, or it may be we go off adherence. So maybe the plan for you is having a set guideline and a high accountability program, so that you have that feedback where you walk up to your fridge and you tick off that box that says, I did that today. So again, it's not one size fits all. We specifically make a plan that's right for you. Hopefully have a few laughs in the appointment. I like to think I've got a few jokes up my sleeve, but got to have a little bit of fun while we're there. And then we would get you straight into the next step. So, after my appointment, usually people are feeling quite empowered and raring to go. I don't want to leave it 3 months before we get you jumping in. We want to get you straight onto the plan. So if it's coming back to see us to do step 2, fabulous, we'll book you straight in. Or it might be getting you in a group, fabulous. We book you in, get you ready to go, tell you time, place, what to wear, what to bring, all of that jazz. So it's get you in, you know the drill, I know the drill, we know what's happening, we've got that set path, and then you're ready to go. So after the session's finished, we do have that continued support. So we know that sometimes we do need a bit more support in those initial stages to keep that motivation going and to keep that accountability going. So we've got a few different aspects. Number 1, home exercise program. So instead of when you leave the program, your appointment, you have to try and remember all the things we talked about. We followed up with a home exercise program. If a follow-up email is relevant, because it's quite a content-based, or we provide a lot of education, then I'm a big fan of following that up as well. And that may be links to YouTube videos where I reiterate what we've talked about, or links to our socials, things like our Facebook page where we do have additional resources on there. So for instance, if our goal is for you to do more resistance training at home, in particularly say postmenopausal women, if they do have osteoporosis or osteopenia, if our goal is for you to do increased resistance training, I'll make you a plan, but I'll also send you the link to our Facebook page where we do have those free resources for you, so you can follow along with the video, and then your homework's done for the week, so it's nice and easy for you. Again, depending on the multitude of conditions or chronic disease management, we do have a range of resources available for people. Again, just to reiterate what we've talked about, provide confidence in their treatment plan, and again, provide the opportunity for them to ask questions or to seek clarification if it's needed. I bet I had some doozies. I remember when you were teaching me to do blood pressure. It was like, so what'd you get? And I was like, 120 on 80. And he was like, no. And now when students go, 120 on 80, I'm like, yeah, no.